I don't think there's anybody on here yet, so that's something. Okay. I'm freezing to death in this car, but at the same time, I don't want to turn it off because then I will be in a sauna in 2.2 seconds. So anyway, I'm trying to do a live event. Hi, this is Andrea from Great Expectations Realty. So you can see, hopefully this is not the first video you've ever seen on my channel. That would be embarrassing. But yeah, I actually thought I would go ahead and try and do a live event each week. I thought like 6 p.m. on a Friday would be a nice safe time to do it. Not so much. I was still meeting with a customer. Yeah, she's over from Oklahoma, so you know who you are. Hi. But yeah, I just basically was still meeting with somebody at that point. So yeah, that not so much. Oh, hey Patricia, how are you? So yeah, so I was meeting with her and was chit-chatting about Ocala. A lot of the questions was Marion County versus Citrus County, and honestly it just depends on taste and what you want to do, and like if you want like really rural or if you want like a Starbucks. I mean, it's honestly, we have like rural, and then we have like the sticks, and then we have like, I hope you never want to see another human person because it's going to be a while. So we have levels of rural out here. And you just have to like pick which one you want. We have a lot of land available out here, so with not that many houses on it. So I am in my car for a live event because it's just been a weird week. I don't know if you guys are having the same thing. Did your kids go back to school this week? Because mine is homeschooled. She's been homeschooled long before COVID, and she decided that she wanted to do some classes at the local school. Okay, so in Marion County, you can actually have a child that is homeschooled for free through the virtual school system, which is called Florida Virtual School or Marion County Virtual School. Marion County Virtual School, you'll have local teachers. They can meet with them and all of that. Oh, Lucy, okay, so you're homeschooling too. Okay, so you can do that all through the public school system, totally free. All the books and everything is all, all included. It's all online. They meet with their teachers and everything. But if you want to do like a hybrid version of that, where there's like their electives are at the local school, or maybe they want to join band, or they want to do a sports team or some clubs or whatever, you can do that. So we didn't do that through middle school, but now she's in high school and she's decided that she wants to do like this hybrid version of it and just give it a go. So she's actually doing 3 classes at the local high school, which is weird. She's about halfway through 9th grade actually, on the virtual school thing, because you can do summer classes and you just kind of go at your own pace. But for the actual school system, the public school just started this week. So I haven't had a child in the public school system in a few years since, Michael graduated and went off to college. So it was very odd to like, oh right, we got like school there and pick up, and it was just very, very odd. So this week she started school on Tuesday. It's now Friday, everything, and then the school days change depending on if they're block days. It was very weird. It was like throwing a wrench into a fairly well-oiled machine. So my husband has been awesome. He's been taking her to school, and I'm the one that's supposed to be picking her up, but yeah, I might have called in a few favors. So it was just a little difficult, so I'm sure everybody out there with kids, I'm sure you guys have the same issue. But anyway, I don't want to complain because, I am going to adjust to it to the same as everybody else does. And it is a really, really amazing opportunity. So it's through the Florida Virtual School and also through Westport and everything. The kids have the opportunity to actually do their associate's degree for free through high school. So like Michael, he graduated high school with his associate's degree, which was nice because all the books and everything are covered. I mean, it was great. It was, most of it was right on campus. The stuff that wasn't, he did virtually over the summer. So it was great. So there's a lot of hybrid. It's basically what your child likes to do and what they're good with doing, they can do that. As he says, mine started homeschooling 2 years ago now. It's true, it's hard to adjust initially whether they're homeschooling or... It is true. It is very true. So a little known fact, I was homeschooled my entire life. I have not gone to a public school during my childhood. So I absolutely am proof that that thing that they say about homeschool kids not acclimating to, you know, people, not true. I'm literally one of the most gregarious people that you're gonna meet, and I consider myself fairly successful. I mean, I own my own business and everything. My younger brother also owns his own business. He owns a painting company, and works with like new construction and stuff. So, you know, yeah, that thing saying that, you know, kids that are homeschooled aren't gonna know how to communicate well and work well in society is just totally not true. I will say, as I do have this experience, that two things do happen. One, I don't understand the public school system as well as I would like to, since I have children in the public school system. The red tape makes no sense to me. I kind of have more of a common sense approach to things. So that I've had some conflict before, just because I apply common sense to everything, and they have a mass quantity of kids, and so they have to go more with rules and no exceptions, and that just doesn't work for me. So but I will say that homeschool kids, I think outside of the box. What I tell my husband is there is no box. there's no lines. I make my own coloring, you know. I don't need to color inside the lines. So as long as I know the laws and where the end of the page is, I make my own very interesting designs. So yeah, there are some pros, there are definitely some cons. When you are raising kids, homeschool kids, they will have, when it's the next generation and they have to decide whether or not they're going to homeschool or put their kids into public school, they are going to have a harder time as a parent with kids that are in school. But that is my own personal experience with homeschooling. And again, I have no problem with, you know, education and stuff for myself. I've definitely done, you know, college courses and stuff, and I, you know, obviously got my real estate license and had no problem passing the test. But I will say that like sitting in a classroom is maybe a little bit harder for me than for other kids. I don't understand why when I went to college, the teacher assigns you reading, and I guess you're not supposed to read all the books beforehand, because when you get there, their lecture is basically just reading what's in the book. So I was kind of going, if you gave us all the books, the book list ahead of time, were we not supposed to read them all? I don't understand what the problem is. It's like, why am I here for this? Like, I already read that in the book, which I know how to read. So it is a little hard. But yeah, a little bit different. But now there's so much more for homeschool kids. Oh my goodness, they are so spoiled, so spoiled, these homeschool kids now, especially with the advent of the internet, which I did not have. I'm showing my age. But yeah, the definitely a whole nother world when it comes to just education and stuff. It's just amazing the opportunities that our kids have. And I have absolutely no problem with whatever is best for the child, and each child is different. That's what you do. So I will get off of that soapbox, sorry. But anyway, so this week was absolutely crazy because, you know, she's got these classes and she goes in for the classes and then we have to pick her up right away. So like today she went into school for an hour. Okay. She's taking photography, art, and keyboarding, which is essentially piano, but apparently they call it keyboarding. But yeah, we decided to go out for dinner tonight, and they all wanted breakfast for dinner at IHOP, and I'm like, not really. I mean, okay, there's all these amazing restaurants in Ocala and all over the place, and they want to go to IHOP. But I'm like, okay, whatever. I can eat a salad pretty much anywhere. So yeah, we're having breakfast for dinner at IHOP, and they're going to be joining me shortly. I'm like, well, I have a Facebook Live, or a YouTube Live, excuse me, so I will come in a bit. So they're not even here yet. I'm kind of watching them with the camera in the background. They're not in yet. So I told them to take their time. So I don't know. Do you guys have any questions? I mean, is there anything I can help with? I would love to answer any questions you have. As far as anything I know. If I don't know, I'll try and get the information for you. I use your questions quite a bit to create videos for. So if I have somebody that's asking a question, or a couple people that are asking the same question, I assume it's something that people want to know, and just do a video on that. So I should have a video coming up pretty soon on mobile homes. I'm not a huge fan of them, but there's reasons for that. So at least here in Florida, I don't know, maybe other places they're amazing, but yeah, down here, not a huge fan. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and hit it in the chat, and I will be more than happy to answer those. How long does a typical survey take in this current market? And do you have any idea what is going on at Oak and Silver Road by the golf course? Yes, Lucy, I do. I looked that up for you. But surveys, if it is a regular survey, that was the easier question, so I'm going to go over that one first. If it's a regular survey, like quarter acre, third of an acre, subdivided, you know, planned unit development kind of thing, those are taking about 10 days, maybe at most 2 weeks right now. So basically right when we are ordering the appraisal, we're ordering the survey at the same time. It used to be we'd wait until about a week before closing to do that. We're not doing that anymore because they are a bit backed up, and they got really backed up because they're doing it for all. It's not like they're just surveying for, you know, sales. They also survey for all the new construction that's going on. They have to do all of that before they can put in the permits and stuff for the county to build. So, so these survey companies are backed up. Same as the appraisal companies. It is a pretty hot market down here. So I know with appraisals, I don't know if you could do this with surveys. We haven't had to do this yet, but with appraisals, you can pay a little bit of extra money, like 150 bucks, and you can get yours kind of put to the top of the stack and get yours a lot faster. So appraisers don't really make that much money, so you know, I don't really have an issue with paying them just slightly extra and getting that done. So anyway, as far as the Oak and Silver Road, I knew I'd seen that question before, and then for some reason the question like disappeared, so I was trying to answer it and I couldn't. But anyway, so over at Oak and Silver Road, kind of an interesting thing. Part of that is actually, it's what's happened over the years with sales over there is really interesting. But part of that is actually owned by the public school system. So a big portion of it was actually approved for a development. It's kind of almost like a horseshoe around the public school area. So at some point there will be a public school. I don't know if it's going to be now. I don't know if it's going to be later. I'm hoping for a middle school over there because they really kind of need one in that area. I really hope they don't do yet another elementary school. There's like, what, 3, 4 over there? In the high school, you know, there's already a high school, but a middle school is just kind of missing. I have no, okay, you've made the YouTube algorithm. I'm still working on the algorithms on YouTube. They're like, YouTube is so much smarter than me. Somebody else was commenting. So yeah, there's that. Now, the subdivision, that was already approved for a subdivision like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I think it was 2008, something like that. It got approved for a subdivision, but it was never built. And it looked like to me, from everything I read on the deeds and stuff, that the developer went into foreclosure and they turned it into a tree farm, which is why you had all these perfectly lined up trees over there. They turned it into a tree farm for the wood and for, you know, basically a tax write-off. That's why a lot of those trees are out there. But now that the economy has changed quite a bit and we need the housing, and quite frankly we need the trees to get we need the wood. So they went ahead, and that's why they're harvesting the trees, and they're probably going to go ahead and complete the planned unit development, the subdivision that they had planned on doing way before. And the person that actually purchased it now is actually really well known in the Silver Spring Shores area for doing subdivisions. So yeah. Says it's like calculus on steroids with the YouTube algorithms. I know. I honestly don't get too much into it. I enjoy doing the videos and chatting with you guys, and I just love that part of it. But the algorithms and the details and the numbers and figuring out exactly when and where and what and all of that, my husband gets into that. You'll never see him really doing any videos. I would be shocked if he ever did a video. By the way, see him in the background? So, I would be shocked if he actually ever did a video, but he will. He had to go and make sure I saw him, so he's in there. You're gonna go in there. But he loves going into the details. Oh my goodness, does that man love details. So he gets into all of that stuff, and he's like, did you know that if you posted this time, and oh yeah, he gets all into the thumbnails and the views and all of sorts of stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I'll do something more with Canva. So my thumbnails have gotten better over the years, or over the months, I should say. I've actually had YouTube videos and YouTube channels for probably 15 years. You guys can't get on my old ones because I made them private. Yeah. Because, back then I was just using it mostly for like, if I had like an investor or something. I was doing primarily investors in property management back then. I really wasn't getting into regular residential sales. And so I would go over, that was the market. It was, 2007, 2008. It was really all through those years, it was getting into foreclosures and stuff like that. So I would go over and I'd find a really good deal, and I'd go and take aged myself again, videotape. I would go and record a video of the inside and outside of the house and my thoughts on it. And I was quite blunt. And then I would send it to a list of investors that I had and be like, okay, who wants it? And they would go ahead and purchase it. And then, I'd have a list of vendors that would go ahead and rehab it, and it would go into property management. There's a whole slew of houses that I did that with that are still in management today in our portfolio. But in between those videos of like before and after, because of course I'd show them what was done with their money so they actually know that it went to a house. In between those videos were a whole bunch of pictures or videos of my kids like growing up and school functions. So it wasn't really a professional thing. I just basically uploaded those videos for the links to send over to them. And it was more for my family from all over the country to watch the kids grow up because they don't live nearby. So over the years, I did actually start having people watching those videos and be like, oh, hey, can you be my property manager? And I'm like, wow, that's totally weird. How did you even find this video? I didn't know anything about tags. I didn't know anything about anything. But I have gotten customers that way over the years. So when COVID hit, I was like, I got this back burner kind of project of YouTube. Maybe I should do something with that. And now we get like on average 20,000 views a month. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So yes, I promised that video, and I did talk about it a little bit before, but yes, absolutely. We'll go ahead and do that now. I kicked off a whole new topic. So, aw, thanks, Lucy. Okay, so mobile homes. Okay, so for Florida, for the state of Florida, if you have a mobile home, you are essentially living in your vehicle. I do not have a license to sell a mobile home. Okay, Cherry Eagle. Okay, please don't hate me for this. Okay, so you have to have a dealership license in order to sell a mobile home. So like today, one of my agents asked, he's like, hey, there's this mobile home that a friend of a family member wants me to sell, but it's in a lot and they pay lot rent. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but you can't sell that unless I go and get a car dealership license. You can't do that. And I don't really, you know, I don't really foresee us doing that because that's getting into a whole nother thing. Might I suggest going through Factory Expo? There you go. Absolutely. So yes, you actually have a registration tag on your mobile home, the same as you would have like a car registration tag. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. As far as the state of Florida is concerned, you are living in your car, essentially. It's the same as like an RV or something like that. They don't really have a differentiator between an RV and that, because we have so many people that they'll actually come down here and stay for months in their RV. So they have to figure out, you know, what's the dividing line. So for us here, the divider of real estate versus car dealership is if it's attached to real property. So if it's attached to real property, that's where you have a property tax. Otherwise, you pay taxes to the DMV, essentially. So if you have a property, so I'm licensed to sell mobile homes only if they're on actual property. Yeah. So the other issue that I have, and the reason I don't really want to get the licensing for that, is that I don't particularly agree with some of the park lot rents and stuff like that. It'll be really inexpensive for the mobile home or trailer or whatever you want to call it. But then the lot rent is like astronomical. It's like anything from $400 to $700. And they can, once you're in, and you know, they can go up from there. And then how on earth are you going to sell that with everybody coming in to purchase it, knowing that they're going to have to pay astronomical amounts for rent? You're literally stuck unless you move the whole mobile home. And quite frankly, it's not really worth it. And also, if you move a mobile home more than twice, it is almost impossible to get insurance. Tiny homes are, that is, not only is it a newer thing, so it's not really something that I can really say, oh, I know all about it, and I don't specialize in it, so that's not fair. But tiny homes, if they're on wheels and they are not attached to property, go in the same category. So again, exactly. So I would say go ahead and purchase the land. You can get a 1/4 acre lot of land. I mean, depending on where you get it, you can still get it for under $10,000. You could go ahead and get that. If you go through a mobile home manufacturer, you can actually, they'll do the septic, they'll do the well, they'll do the permits, they'll do the engineering spec, they'll do all of that for you. Go through them and get that done. I will be more than happy to sell you the lot and then refer you to them to do that. It's still, you still lose, the same as with vehicles. You lose a lot when you drive it off the lot. So you lose your money. So I don't promote them. From everything I've seen, everything I've heard, I just don't promote them. Again, I also don't have the licensing for that. I have the licensing for the lot. I plug Factory Expo one more time. If I knew anything about it, I would help you out, but I don't know anything about them. So plug away, knock yourself out. So yeah, the mobile homes, I'm not a huge fan. I also, just laughing. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm trying so hard not to offend anybody, but I'm also a very brutally honest person. So I don't really like them. I mean, I lived in Texas when I was growing up. I lived in a mobile home, and I remember as a child, you know, anytime there was a tornado warning or something, being worried about it, because I swear those tornadoes, they really just gun right for those mobile home parks. I swear it's like, I don't know, it's like they're magnets for them or something. I don't know. So I've just seen that the construction of a concrete block home or a frame home, a site built, they call them, versus a mobile home or modular home is not equivalent. It's not the same. There are different levels to building, and you need to be aware of what you're buying, and the value over time is better in a concrete block home. So I like to have security. Raise his hand silently in agreement. Thank you. Okay, so I didn't offend everybody on the planet. They have their value as like, I don't know, if you've got like some lake property, a vacation spot or something like that, you don't want to pour a whole bunch of money into it. Go for it. Knock yourself out. But if it's your main residence, you know, just, they also, if you check with your local firemen and you ask them which house is going to go up faster, a mobile home versus a frame or a concrete block home, they're going to be like, mobile home right there. 3/4 of the market of modular homes. They go really, really fast. I swear, 10 minutes and it's reduced to nothing. It really, really scares me. I've seen it actually happen, and it really, so if there's something that I don't believe in, I'm not going to promote it and I'm not going to sell it. So have I sold mobile homes? I can count on one hand how many I've sold in the last like 15 years, I think. Oh yeah, just like leaving a car, leaving a lot. Exactly. It loses its value just because you're living in it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I like things that go up in value, or at least retain their value as much as possible. Land, for the most part, does that. I mean, you know, if you go through a massive recession or something, but then, you know, nothing retains its value. So, I mean, bread is even a different price. I mean, it's just, you know, so, but in a normal market, you know, consistent market, stable market, whatever, a house will retain its value more so than a mobile home. So yeah, I have that. Now, I have sold them as long as it's full disclosure. I'm like, I'm going to tell you the pros and the cons. We're going to have a very in-depth conversation about this. And if you decide that this is what you want to do, I'm not going to stop you. You have the right to choose whatever you want. But that's it. All right. Do you have renovation plans on the new Danellen office? That building is really cool. Oh, honey, that is a work in progress. Yesterday I was out there. I did some brickwork in the front, like a whole slew of mulch. But yes, our contract and stuff has changed back and forth quite a bit with it. It is a very, very cool building. I love that building. We are almost done with phase 1 of what we wanted to do with it. The lobby, we went back to the original brickwork. The kitchen was orange and a god-awful mess, and that looks all very nice. We even got the water heater working again. Woo! The bathroom is good, and my office is actually under construction right now. I'm actually going to have my own office. It's been years. Like, I have not had my own office since I've become a broker and opened a brokerage. But yeah, I've got my couch coming in, and so I'll actually have a place to do videos and, you know, do stuff with other people that come in and actually sit down and chat with me and stuff. If you guys are coming from out of state, that's going to be a nice quiet area to do that. But this building is from 1931, and there's so many surprises in it. It was a gas station, from the Pure Oil gas station back in 1931. So we found an entire door behind one of the walls. I mean, it's just crazy, some of the stuff that's going on. But every time we take 2 steps forward, we got to take 4 back. But the outside of the building is kind of what we're working on right now, and the conference room. So that's definitely helpful. But yeah, there's actually a lot of work that's been going on inside. And now the outside, we're getting some new signage, thankfully, because the signage that's there is terrible. So we're getting some new signage going up, and we're painting the trim. And I just got my shutters, and we took down the awnings, and we've got, you know, we're getting some flowers in the big massive garden area that I just put in. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on down there. It is going to be a continued work in progress. When I finally say, okay, it's done, it's perfect, well, we'll never say that. I'm not one of those people. We were supposed to have the crown molding go up in the lobby, which is like the last thing I wanted to do in the lobby, and I'm just dying for it, and I'm waiting for it. And then the person that was going to put it up got COVID. So we're waiting. We're waiting. I've got the trim. It's in the conference room. So now I can't really do much with the conference room until it's just literally 2 steps forward, 4 steps back every step of the way. But yes, you will see some larger changes when we've got the new signage in, because all of that trim is going to match the shutters. And the shutters are like this really pretty brick red, so kind of match the mulch, and it's a lot. Feel free to stop in. Feel free to stop in anytime you want and just take a look around. It changes from week to week as to what it looks like inside, but it's really cool to kind of see it progress. Anyway. All right, any other questions? Everybody's like, what on earth is going on? Okay, I guess not. You guys just want me to go into IHOP, right? Oh, I may have to. Please do, absolutely. If there's a car out front, there's somebody in there. There's normally 1 or 2 or 3 of us in there. My car is obviously the white Honda. It's got my phone number on the back of the car. So if you see my car, feel free to stop in and say hi. We're all pretty relaxed. Grab a cup of coffee. But yeah, it's, we're just down the road, so absolutely come be nosy. It's cool. We don't care. We're really proud of what we've done in there and really proud of the changes, so it's fun to kind of show it off a little bit. So yeah, feel free anytime you guys want to come into any of our offices. We're thrilled. We're like, oh my goodness, people. So, feel free. Doesn't matter. We won't make you buy a house. It's okay. All right, well, I'm going to go and find out what they've ordered in there, and hopefully you guys are having a great Friday night, and hopefully you're having something besides pancakes tonight. But we will talk soon. Enjoy your evening. All right, well, I am definitely going to be on stream next week as well. It should be right around the same time, around 6:30, I think is a good time to do it. So it'll be every Friday. So if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, or whatever, just feel free to hit me up. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye, and thanks.